Day. IQSC Director Professor Bhagwan Acharya, Hit Kumar, Dr. Uh, Anok Chandra, and the Board of Studies of the Gurudeo Paramedical College. In association with Bihar University of Health Science and Aryabhatta Knowledge University, it is indeed my pleasure to associate as a resource person in the faculty development program, which is the IQSC initiative. Friends, as the subject is very long enough, participants, friends, and my faculty fellow members, my concentration will be to give you the brief understanding about fundamental of statistics, scale of measurements, variables, and in turn, how the hypothesis can be developed and paramedical and non-paramedical tests designing these to be done. At the outset, I would like to make it very clear that when we go to the statistical tool like SPSS or any type of tool, it is a supporting tool which is supposed to come out from the more working by you. That will save your time and efforts. But when I say before 35, 40 years ago, when we have to do the PhD, it was basically a very tough task. I use the word very tough task. The reason was that everything you have to do manually. So first understanding the concept and based on that to work out that what to do is quite important. So here my objective is also that to explain conceptual discussion, and I will be going through the few slides where I have given the example, but I will not show the calculation to you. We're showing the calculation but not explaining because everyone is capable enough to mathematically apply it. So that is not a problem. But the answers are given and how the interpretation should be reasoned. Whenever we are going to the research publications to be done at global level, or you have to recognize there are good researcher and academician, then the research is a fundamental. Any research without statistical measurement has no meaning. It means that the statistical measurement is quite important. And as I gone through the whole schedule and everything, I would like that I may take a little bit discussion on the same parameters. So let us first level understand what is the statistics. Statistics is basically connecting, analyzing, and based on that you make the decision of the data available in the raw form. Basically, the data is available in the raw form by interview method, by survey method, by questionnaire filling method. Any way you can do it. Or there the secondary database is also being available from the government website, government organization structure, from where we can contribute at global nice that how the standard of living of the society can be improved by supporting the industry, professionals, everyone. So statistics is very important to organize the data, analyze, conclude and make decision about the unconnected data. जो भी डेटा अनकन जो भी डेटा आपने कनेक्ट किया है उसको ऑर्गेनाइज करेंगे, एनालाइज करेंगे. और इन ये सेशन आई अंडरस्टैंड the our resource person have used the both language, so I'm trying to be use the both language as far as possible. So statistic is basically providing us the statistical thinking ability to purposefully connect. So that is one of the very important one. Any data you should connect should be purposeful. That should be the objective behind it. You organize it, analyze it, and then finally you make conclusion of that. That is one of the important. Statistics are basically termed as a two-way, statistical data and statistical method. These are the normal methodology being used by on statisticians. I say there are going to be the very important difference between the two things, that is parameters versus statistics. Parameters are basically the valid measurement done by us from the total population study. In practical life, it is difficult to study the total population, so we select a sample by using the different sampling technique like a convenience sampling or random sampling like that. So parameters is basically what we wish to know about the population, and statistics are used to estimate the population parameters. So now here what is happened, that we have certain general belief in our mind which we try to approve or disapprove. So we can go to the study of the statistics. This is the one of the very important slide where I have very clearly mentioned the Greek letters and the Roman letters are to be used in the statistics. Number of time, few theses are coming to me or research papers are coming for final editing or review in the certain journal where I am in the board, where I found that new researchers are using irrelevant symbols. So very clearly we should understand that average should be shown in the Greek letters by mu. In statistics we use the Roman letters. Same way with standard deviation, percentage. In population parameters we use the pi. When in sample statistics we have to use the small p. In the same way, slope we should give in the population parameters beta. Otherwise in simple statistics we have to use the b. This is a simple logic. When only I say that statistics are bifurcated into two categories, data and methodology. But here now I am making a very important discussion on the bifurcation of the types of statistics. Hence, as a researcher, we should understand that statistics are of three types. Descriptive statistics, where the data is going to be described. So we are going to be get a pictorial fact, description, meaning of sample, which goes up to mean, median, standard deviation, kurtosis, skewness is going to be used. Second is going to be coordination study. We have to establish the coordination between the variable. And third, we have to do the preferential statistics. This is the methodology we have to use when we want to achieve the research excellence. So once we have the sample data is there, first we should understand the descriptive statistics from where we can find out the normality of data, abnormality of data. They are going to be the outliner to be taken into consider. Outliner means ऐसे जो डेटा है जो आपके पूरे रीजन को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं. सो वो आउटलाइनर डेटा को आपको रिमूव करना पड़ेगा and bring the data to the acceptable moment. And it's a very important thing. And this is to be done without any bias. So we should use a statistical technique of a box technique, histogram technique. Those are also supporting us to find out the irrelevant data because the data provided by the sample may be wrong or sample is not willing to disclose the correct. So that is the first level. After that we should work out what is the relationship between the variable under considerations. Whether there is a positive relationships or negative relationships and how they work it. And third level we have to come to the inferentiation. It means that we should try to conclude something, we should come to the conclusion of the same. So we have parametric and non-parametric tests. Inferences is basically We draw the conclusion based on some evidence we have. It means sample data is our evidence. Once that sample data is there, we will take the statistical inferences. That is set of procedure we use to define the sample size and sample statistics. To make estimate of population parameters. This is one of the very important words. Make estimates of population parameters. Now, as research, at our heart, first is coming inquiry. That is, you search for information and explanation. Maybe by scheduled questionnaire, by Likert scale, in case of quantitative data, by using the ordinal and nominal scale, or sometimes we use the interval scale and a gesture scale. I will come later on that. And two main steps then we have to do it. First is inquiry, and then another two steps. Make the observations of the correctness of data. That I say to find out the normality by using the descriptive study, and we should form the hypothesis. So when we make the observations, we are describing the nature, structure, and process of the observation. That is structured questionnaire, unstructured questionnaire, structured interview, unstructured interview. Those data are being recorded as observations. Nowadays, you are using the Excel sheet and you can record the data. हमारे पास टाइम में हम लोग मैन्युअल रिकॉर्ड में लिख के रखते थे कि what is to be done. Now here it's a system is giving you support. So you can have the certain observations which are coming by way of sense. Like we can say, the beauty of a girl cannot be measured by any instrument. It is a belief of individual anchor. So it is that sense. Quantitative measured by the instruments. Now, when we before start our research, we have to understand that are we going for the deductive reason or we are going to the inductive reasoning? Which reasoning method we have to use? When we go to the general observations and from general we come down to the particular observation, specific conclusion, then it is known as deductive reasoning. Example, on dogs have us. Golden retrievers are dogs. Therefore, they have us. Like you can take this way the logic. Inductive. We start from the specific observation and move to the general conclusion. When we say the paramedical, hence medical sector, they come to the specific observation and from those specific observations they make that if the sample has this type of the observations are seen, then this disease can be concluded. So it's a general conclusion. For example, if I get tired, if I don't drink coffee, so coffee is addictive. So here we can say I am addicted to coffee. The medical science says the same thing. If certain type of the counts are seen in the blood of certain type, it means that it needs to X type of disease and different type of medicines have to be used. So very clear. Deductive may say deductive reasoning we are normally using in case of social science. Inductive reasoning we are using for medical science. So here the concept check is given. Speeding. Every test has been easy, so final will be easy. So it's a inductive. On athlete workout, John is an athlete. Therefore, John workout. So it's a deductive. All organs are made of sand based on years of research. Is inductive. All organs are made of sands. Dogs are organs. So dogs are made of sand. Is a deductive. I already said the normality and the reliability of the data to be checked. Normality and reliability of data, normally we are checking through the skewness. So this basically indicating our Norman curve, which seems to be 100% band shape, nearly band shape. So we can say the data is normal and reliable. What is normality? Normality is the assumption that a data set is normally distributed. Data जो है वो normally distributed हुआ है, means in at night whatever the one population is representing is giving the correct information. So we are not selecting the data or the sample what we like it. We have selected sample without any bias. So this becomes the band shape curve. Further I mentioned it. Here also we are coming down to the probability. This probability word normally we use in the hypotesting and everything. That what is the probability that something is going to be happen. When we say 5% probability, it means that there is a 5% our conclusion may be wrong. This is what we say in the statistical inference, which I come later on. Number of time we have yes or no and we do it. So normal probability is also called as Gaussian distribution. Family of distribution that is band shape. You know, whenever your research paper is going for the international publication also, it is generally being said, don't use the word like normal probability distribution, but use the word like a Gaussian distribution methodology like that. So, you know, your paper weight is being increased. So, they are symmetric in nature and peak at the mean. With the probability distribution decreases away before and after. So, extreme probabilities are lower. So, near normally we are defining it by the two methods. Number one, center value, which may be mean, median, or mode, and standard deviation. Highest used is mean. So prerequisites for any data analysis is for your sample should be selected properly. Sample selection should be proper. We should use the proper measurement scale. So it requires interval data where the consecutive numbers are done on the measuring scale by equal interval also. Then we assume the normality. So faulty case then the user may underestimate or overestimate the value of statistics. But in practical life, we have to understand that we are not getting the 100% correct responses from the respondent. So some of the responses may be intentionally or unintentionally wrong. Then by outline, we are removing them. Fourth is coming homogeneity of variance. Variance are going to be equal and the same. So Norman curve, mean value is supposed to be 0. Standard deviation is 1. It is perfectly symmetrical as I drawn here. And mean median mode on a conic. Yes, friends, before I move further, anyone have the question? Mr. Pushpak, anyone have the question, please? Hello? Hello? No question, okay. Because now I'm moving to new points. That's why I just made a point. Thank you. When we say our variables are two types, broadly, categorical and numerical. Very important. Categorical variables are normally useful for the non-parametric study. For parametric study, numerical variables are not useful in general. This is the illustratively generalized statement by me. Categorical outcome of disease, person recover or person may go to the chronic illness or it may reason to the death. I should not say, but it is one of the things the American science should look into. Main type of staple food. Staple food eaten is maize, rice, millet, wheat and so. Now, this is categorical. Like South Indian, we can say rice. We have a Western Indian side, we are saying wheat. Kernel of rice, maybe black, new or blue. In the numerical, we have age in months or years. Weight can be in kilogram or in pound. Home cleaning distance, that how far away my home clinic doctor is there. Monthly income, number of children, etc. Now here we have to always rephrase the variable. So I've given the 5-6 simple example to prima facie understand. Non-waiting time, we should use the word waiting time. So waiting time may be short, medium or long. Absence of drug, availability of drug. Maternal education, that is the year of schooling. Infant mortality, death during the last 12 months. Immunization coverage, fully immunized, partly immunized or not immunized. Hypercholesterolemia, we should have the variable like serum, cholesterol level. I think here paramedical people are there so they understand. Lack of supervision, that is for factory level also working level. I try to give the one type of the different phase of that. Now very important, forming of hypothesis. I use some different colors to understand it. Hypothesis is basically the prediction that can be tested by recording more observation or experiments. Doctors are doing experiments, chemical units are doing the experiments, chartered accountant, etc. are doing the observations. So often we heard if something then something because of certain reason, but does not need to be in this form. If is the manipulative variable, it means it is independent variable. Then it is the responding variable. So it is dependent variable. Very important. If is indicating the independent variable, then is indicating the dependent variable, and because maybe the optional explanation we give it in the hypothesis. So reason can either support or refute the hypothesis. Somewhere the researchers are saying non-hypothesis is correct. I say, don't say correct. Say not rejected, not accepted, not rejected. Always start the non-hypothesis which the researcher tries to dispute, reject or nullify. Basically, when we try to be talk to the medical science, doctor is sending us for the medical test and we get the report. If the report is positive, doctor say you have some disease. It means there is just some type of the virus or parameters have affected you. When the non-hypothesis say that there is no impact of that. So the hypothesis, there is no difference between two groups of data. And the experimental observations are due to chance. So HO we mean we say HO H none. It is a methodology to say none hypothesis. H none or H no. There will be no difference in headache relief between individuals who take tenor and those who do not. It means that the tablet tenor has no effect at all in the headache relief. After the null hypothesis, we should write the alternative hypothesis. Only we make sure that first the null hypothesis to be written, immediately alternative hypothesis to be written, and it should be start with H small 1, then you can go to H2, H3 like that. So that number of hypotheses, we can say H01, H11. It means null hypothesis number 1, alternate hypothesis number 1. H02, H21. It means it indicates the alternate hypothesis number 2 and so as many necessary. So example of the alternative hypothesis. Here I made a 2 alternative hypothesis. Tenofovir when consumed by patient with headache. So you take the medicine and you get relief, or sometimes it may give the negative effect. It will worsen your symptoms. So alternative hypotheses are two types. Maybe right thing means positively affected or negatively affected. That is known as left thing and the right thing way. So here I make a concept check ideally, only one, later on I will leave it. Here's the question below. Formulate one null and one alternate hypothesis. Does the use of nitrogen-based fertilizer in soil affect the growth of sunflower? I'm taking the example of the agriculture sector. Nitrogen-based fertilizer have no effect on the growth of sunflower. That is null hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis say if nitrogen-based fertilizers are used in the soil, then it will increase the growth of sunflower. So here you can say are used in the soil is the because which is optional, which may be written by you in the hypothesis or may not be written by you. It's okay. Here also another because I say because of nitrogen is necessary for leaf growth. This is my belief. So I try to put it. But it is optional. You can practice this based on students' education criteria. Now, hypothesis is basically a scientific method. It does not require follow a perfectly structured form. So if you work with a wrong hypothesis, then you should redirect the research. You have to be very careful that whether the hypothesis I have wrote is correct or not, and that you give to your colleague in the college or your friends who understand and they can look into it before you submit it for the publication. And that scientific method takes you to the hypothesis, that is explanation to a question, which can be tested by experiment or continued observation. When we look to the medical, hence science, doctors are doing a testing by experiment. They are giving the tenant medicine to the one of the patient, and they say that you inform how do you feel after taking it, or it can be this one, or whenever we see the some medicine list, then every bill, the explanation of the medicine also giving that these are the positive, negative impact if you take it, and then they give something because from the earlier experiment they come to the logical conclusion. It's also theory, We summarize the group of hypotheses that and is broader in scope but never become the norm. Now let us you look to the medical science. Doctor do the same thing. For one treatment, one specific medicine is given. But at the same moment, they are knowing that what are the side effects or negative impact of this medicine possible. So they give additional medicines by making the broader in scope. So they can say that this particular treatment is always beneficial to me. It's a statement of fact, a mathematical formula. Newton's law of gravity has given us scientific law based on the hypothesis framed by the Newton that when the apple fall down, it falls from top to down. Now it becomes the scientific law, not the human-made law. Describe observation, not how or why. They are generative and innovation. Now here the writing of the hypothesis, I am taking it in the two way. First, I have already explained that how the hypothesis should be written, when we should write the because of situation. Now I say writing of the hypothesis in your research paper, in your doctoral study, in your postdoctoral study. Anyway, hypothesis always to be written by the two way. Number one, descriptive form. There is no increasing sense value from the last year. That is null hypothesis. Alternatively, we can say there may be increasing sense value or decreasing sense value. Here I say UP. UP is basically the population mean that is of last year's. You can use any alphabet. There is no problem. Okay. You can say the mu P or you can say the mu S. Like that you can do it. Mu O is equal to sample mean of this year's. So in the HO, from descriptive form to the numerical form, quantitative form, I am saying mu P is equal to mu O. Alternative, I say that mu P may be greater than mu O or mu P may be lesser than mu O. It was my mistake. By mistake, two times I write the mu P greater than. So here only less than is coming. Now we start with the experiment. So we start with the observations. I already said. Now there we are going to be have the four important points we have to consider. Independent variable, I have already explained. Dependent variable, which is going to be give the effect. Control group means something we are saying that are going to be under control. Means in economics word we can say status quo method. Keep on other variable constant. And we can have the constant value. Like when we say that consumption of a product person, food consumption of a person is going to be minimum at a 0 degree of order. That is known as constant quantity. Then as the income is increasing, consumption may increase. But there is a minimum level of consumption is required where the income is 0. That is known as constant. In the scientific community, we normally does not take our conclusion based on one trial also. We may take the number of trial, 3, and each trial may have the 40, 50 samples may be taken into consideration. So variable, something that is going to be changed in the experiment, means something we are going to change in our experiment, and constant is something that is not going to change during our experiment. It means that I say minimum level of consumptions to be done by us is going to be based on the same thing of constant. So independent variable, the one factor that is changed by the person doing the experiment. Dependent variable, the factor which is measured in experiment. So here I can say represents a quantity that is being manipulated in an experiment. Like doctor increase the dose size, say 5 mg to 7 mg or 10 mg like that, and then they say that what is the result is coming. And based on that, they are coming down that particular quantity of drugs should be given when the same type of the next patient is coming. So constant on the factor that say the same in the experiment, depend on experiment but could include temperature, location, height, weight. It is going to be the constant. That when the temperature and the location, like New Delhi is an occasion where the pop, pollution level is very high, what it may be the effect. So why it is important to change only the independent variable? If you measure a change in dependent variable, you want to know whether it is independent that is causing the change. So to find out that this dependent variable is happen, person is suffering from something because of some reason. That is why we require the independent variable to measure it. Concept check, small example. You are washing car to earn money. For each car you wash, you earn rupees 50. So independent variable is the number of car you wash. Dependent variable, the amount of money you receive. Because it depends on number of car you wash. Hope I think it's clear to everyone at this concept. Thanks. Okay. Then now I'm coming to control level. I'm going little bit speedy, मुझे मालूम है, but time is limited. But I want to give the major input to the participants. Okay. जब तक participants को ये मालूम नहीं होगा तो आगे जाके वो कुछ अच्छा नहीं कर सकेंगे. Okay. I think basic is more important. Others the SPSS is there. Okay. So we have control group, we have experiment group. You know, in the medical science, there is a system that they give the say they make a two group of the same disease happened patient. One patient have been given a X type of medicine. One patient have also been given a medicine looks like X, but it is placebo, giving the impression that the something is given to them. So they are known as the control group way. So here control group we get the expected result, experiment group we get the experimental results. Controls are essential elements of an experiment. Controls are not constant. This is one of the very important note I put it. They have to eliminate experimental errors. Controls are essential for that, to eliminate the errors. So outliner we can know it. Results of control experience validate statistical analysis. And that's why I say we have one descriptive statistics, second is relationship statistics. So here the relationship statistics coming into important. And that support you to describe the reliability of the experiment. This is one of, and that's why I made a statistics by T method. No one normally used to say it, but I said no, T method. Descriptive, relational, and Inflation. Before we come to the inflation, we should complete the first two parameters. So there are two type of control we have, positive and negative. Groups not exposed to the experiment treatment or independent variable, but it is exposed to treatment known to produce the expected result. So if the positive control does not produce the expected result, there may be something wrong with the experimental procedure. Normally, people used to say that when you are having some health problem is happen, then whether you take medicine or not, within 1 week time it may be cured. So, but if it's not cured, it means that there is just something is wrong in your belief, and you have to go on experiment. Negative control, not exposed to a treatment that is known to have no effect. Ensure that there is no effect when there should be no effect. Group where nothing is expected to happen. So do not need to control, but practically it's difficult to have the both positive and negative content to be happen. That is being happening by the pharmaceutical industries and some medical research institutions are going on this. Using positive control, scientists use positive control when they are trying to induce a positive vision. Now I am giving the example. If there is a new drug to treat the headache, trainer can be used as a positive control to show that headache can be removed. It's a positive control. There is a positive effect is coming of the trainer medicine. So here I shall give the some taste very speedily. A researcher want to test the effect of a new antibiotic on the strain of bacteria. Now the new virus is also coming, so strain of bacteria is going to be important. How would the researcher know the new antibiotic is actually effective? So it is experimental. So use an established antibiotic that is known to work. So one group of patients you give the already established antibiotic, another group you give the new one and try to see that what is being happening. So you can say that in the positive reason given by the own antibiotic also, same way the positive reason is given by the own time tested antibiotics also, then you can say that new antibiotics is not effective. There is no need to change it. Negative control, setting a baseline, used to evaluate no confounding or outside variable has affected the result. And that is why doctor used to say us that when I'm giving this medicine, this type of the control you have to exercise in food and everything, because they want to make sure that the taste effect can be seen. It uses a sample that is expected not to work, or group is not exposed to anything. Example, if there is a new drug to treat the headache, a placebo can be used as a negative control. You can use the placebo. Means some type of the chocolate, same kind of type of the chocolate or something is given. So patient think that he get the same type of the drug and the effect may be same. This is the practice is given like a placebo pill. You can look into it. This is also the another one practice I have given it to know that whether the advertisement make the buying power to increase or not. So you can say positive content because here we are saying TV advertisement. So TV advertisement is a positive content. While other than TV advertisement can increase the buying power, then it's a negative content. Now I am coming to the hypothesis. Now I think up to this level hypothesis development and content group is clear, friends. Now I am coming to the fourth type of the hypothesis, very categorically. I think I should continue. सही बात है ना? Okay, पुष्पक sir. Hypothesis testing. नॉन डायरेक्शन, आपको कुछ मालूम नहीं है कि इससे ये वैल्यू हाइपोथेसिस वैल्यू से ज़्यादा होगी और कम होगी, because in the Ineson statistics you are not coming to the any conclusion, so you get non-direction. When you did the Ineson statistics, and we found that as the supply is as the demand is increased, price of the product is increased. So there is a positive directions having seen. So you establish your hypothesis in that particular parameters. Alternatively, you can say that as the price is increased, demand is decreased. So it's going to be negative direction. Third is going to be the linear. I already said that the consumption of the food good is going to be intercept value. That is going to be A. Here what is the small a is given. That is basically given the straight line association, and A is the minimum value of consumption. You have it. B is the slope of consumption, and X is going to be the income. So we can say that consumption of food, it depends on autonomous consumption or the minimum consumption plus slope value multiplied by income. Like 80% of the income goes for consumption. So we can say B is equal to 0.8. But in practical life, we are going to be have the curvilinear. Curve is going to be happen. Not going to be the 45-degree straight angle also. It is normally U shape. U shape is coming, or it may be coming to the reversion U curve. U curve. Both way it can come. It may be U shape or inverted U shape. Example, research shows that job satisfaction is high when one first starts to work for a company, but goes down after a few years and then back after works. Have certain number of years because he's satisfied and he thinks that now last few years I have to work with them, so his satisfaction level is increasing. So here we characterizing the relationship between variable in the four categories. Number one, there should be presence between the two variables. Number two, there should be the directions of our positive relationships or the negative relationships. There are going to be strength of association, that how the strong relationship is there. That is what we worked out in the relation statistics. And fourth, we are going to be show it relationship, assess the relationship shown in order by the hypothesis testing. So, okay friends, another point I forgot to say, that I'm going to be put these PPTs on my YouTube channel, so you can later on register and you can see. Okay, so don't worry about it, because this is a long-term things should be going in your mind and to be refined number of time. In statistics, use sample information to make inferences. That is what we have already said. We conduct hypothesis to determine if sample deviation evidence contradicts HO. Medical science is always going on contradiction to HO. Number of time in the business research also, we are contradicting the HO. Our objective will be that alternative hypothesis should be accepted. That as the advertisement is happen, income is going to be increased. So we say reject the null hypothesis. Sample evidence is inconsistent with HO. Or you can say do not reject the null hypothesis. We do not say they accept the null hypothesis, because when we say accept means there is a 100% surety. But we are going to be safe, for example, at 5% never of significance in the social science, 1% of never of significance in the medical science. So there we are saying that there is a 5% probability that our conclusion may be wrong. When I say 1% never of significance, means there is a 1% probability that my hypothesis decisions may be wrong. So do not have ever evidence to accept the HO. You define? Yes, please. Yes, definitely, sir. Okay, correct. Yes, that's P value. Good. I, I am coming to that. I have made few examples where I am showing the both methodology, that how this say. Okay. Yes, the reason was that I will just take you to the 40 years back. 40 years back, before 30 years ago, I completed my PhD, means started in the year 1989, completed in 94. At that time, we have the such type of computer environment were not available. So we used to be go through the table value. It is difficult to calculate the p value. Manually, it was very tough. Now, in the today's statistics, the p value is calculated by the algorithm of the programming, and that is being said as a significant value. And that p value is the probability value, alpha value. Okay, I think you got the logic. The because algorithms are now available. When I did it, I recall I counted curvilinear graph and everything manually. On counting was done manually because there were no programming. So at that time, our fundamentals were strong, that how to decide the test, because we have to complete our doctorate. Time limit is there. Then what to do? So we have to give the more time to searching the acceptable test than to work on that. Today, even the very nice thing is that you take the 100 test result and then you select what to give. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, so you define the null hypothesis. It indicates status quo, alternate hypothesis, whatever you want to establish, like a more than less than. So HO, we use the word equal to, or more than equal to, less than equal to. In the alternate hypothesis, we are using not equal to, less than, and more than. HO always contains the equality, because when we say more than equal to means equality is discussed. Two-tailed test. Now, when bell-shaped curve is drawn, both tail is coming. One is right tail, one is left tail. So you reject HO on either side of the hypothesized value. Like a mu non-hypothesis, mu is equal to mu O, versus alternate hypothesis, mu is not equal to mu O. Same way I can say P or PO like that, and the symbol is going to be used. Okay. One tail test. Reject HO, that I will speak HO because my so many years experience used to tell me HO, but it's a non hypothesis. So you आप समझ के रखना मैं HO बोलूँ तो नन समझ लेना, okay? Because my mind is set based on that over the years. So we should reject the non hypothesis only one side. For example, when I say non hypothesis, mu is less than equal to mu O. versus alternative hypothesis, mu is greater than mu O. Means this is right 10 test. When I say mu is less than mu O, then it's an F-time test. Inequality in alternate hypothesis determine which train area will be used to make the decision. So when we say the 5% level of significance, means 2.5% left hand side, 2.5% right hand side. The same thing I have explained here, by three step. Identify the population parameters. So somewhere you can take mu, or somewhere here P means proportion. You can take that how many proportion of the person is going for the normal age. You know, this is social science. Determine whether you go to the 110 test or the 210 test, and you establish the equality. Now here I am giving the nice example. A TED group predicts a back to school spending in average rupees 60,640 per year is our estimated value. That there is going to be the value equal to 60,640 rupees per month per year. A different economic model is needed to if prediction is wrong. Parameter of interest is M. Since we are interested in the average back to school spending, that is school fee also. Since we don't want to determine if the population mean is different, it is a not equal to. So it's a two-tailed test. So non-hypothesis, we say average back to school spending is 60,640 rupees or is not equal to. Same way television and an instant test, the TV episode. Here we are going to become to the parameters of the proportion of the household looking to a particular TV serial show or not, TV episode or not. I've taken the both way. Now, when there is going to be the non-hypothesis is true, but we reject the non-hypothesis. We do not accept the non-hypothesis. Then it is type 1 error. When non-hypothesis is false and when non-hypothesis is true and we reject the non-hypothesis, then it is type 1 error. It was near my spitting error. When non-hypothesis is false, but we do not reject, we were supposed to reject, but we do not reject, then it is known as a type 2 error. Otherwise, non-hypothesis is true, and we do not reject the non-hypothesis is correct decision. When non-hypothesis is false, and we reject the non-hypothesis, then it is true decision. This is the type 1 error and type 1 error, 2 error. Here the probability is being shown by alpha. This alpha is also known as level of significance. Understand, alpha is the level of significance which is choose prior. Like social science, we use the 5% in prior, the probability of the wrong conclusion. Medical science may go to the 1% or 0.001%. It depends on the medicine type. Type 2 is known as the probability of B. That is the power of the test, 1 minus B. As the n is increases, a decrease in alpha will increase the beta and vice versa. So this is the one of the very important thing we have to keep it in mind. That sample size is going to be quite important. I'm here giving the example from the Nigan parameters that Null hypothesis that an accused person is innocent. Whenever any case is going on in the court of law, court is always saying, court is always going on the belief that person is innocent. Then the other party will prove that person is guilty. So that is alternate hypothesis. So the judges are saying that the proofs provided to us does not support us to prove that he is guilty, so he is innocent. So type 1 and type 2 errors can simply happen in the court of law. Now, friends, any other friends? Otherwise, now I'm directly coming to the test method. Any question up to this level, up to the hypothesis writing? No? No question. No. So now I can go to the me. See, hypothesis test is basically of the 3 or 4 types. So I am coming to that and explain it. Hypothesis test of the population mean when standard deviation is known. So this is indicating the population standard deviation. Okay. Because this is not human side. Hypothesis testing enables us to determine whether the sample evidence is inconsistent with what is hypothesized. Basic principle, always none is true. In the case of mean, if sample evidence contrary. So two approaches. One of the participants raised the question to me that there is a critical value and table value approach is coming that now I am discussing with you. Okay, in detail. The p-value approach. The value of test statistics for the hypothesis test of population mu when the population standard deviation is known. Then it is known as the Z test. Very important point. T test, Z test both are same. T test is to be used when the sample size is small. It means sample size less than equal to 30. Some research books are saying sample size 29. 30 is coming under big. This is a two view is coming in some of the Indian books. But when we go to the original standard international research methodology book, it was clearly mentioned that small sample size means less than equal to 30. So when the sample size is small, then we use the word T test. That is student T test. When the sample size is large, we use the word Z test. P-value, likelihood of obtaining the simple mean that is at least as extreme as the one derived from the given sample under the assumptions that the null hypothesis is true. Now, p-value approach. Under the assumptions of mu is equal to mu O, the p-value is the likelihood of observing sample mean. The calculation of the p-value depends on three hypothesis logic. I have taken the alternative hypothesis, where here I am taking a right chain test, here I take a left chain test, here I take a two-chain test. I reject the null hypothesis if p-value is less than alpha. Like I have taken a alpha, that is my level of significance, 5%, and my means 0.05, and my calculated p-value is 0.02. It means that I am rejecting the null hypothesis. Same way, when I go on critical value calculation, that is the value calculated by me is greater than the value given in the table, then null hypothesis is rejected. आई एम रिपीटिंग, मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूँ। जब पी वैल्यू अल्फा वैल्यू से नेवन ऑफ सिग्निफिकेंस से कम है तो हम उसको रिजेक्ट करते हैं। जब कैलकुलेटेड वैल्यू बाय फॉर्मूला is greater than table value, then we reject the hypothesis. This is the two contradictory points. You have to keep it in mind. So I have given the comparison that this is the left-hand side tool where I took it that p value where the p calculated z value is less than the small z value. Or here I take a two-time test, or here I take a right-time test. P value approach, first step, specify none and alternate hypothesis, specify test statistics and compute value, calculate the p-value. I'm showing you, explaining here how p-value to be calculated from this and state the conclusion. Example, I said n is 25, mean number of sample 25, sample mean is 71, population standard deviation is 9. This is the data is available with me. I come to the null hypothesis that mu is less than 67. Mu is greater than 67. So 67 is basically population mean. And 70 and mu O is coming to 67. Our x by calculated mean is 71. Given the population is normally distributed with a known standard deviation of 9. So I calculated the value, Z value is 2.22. Now I go to the standardized normal distributions and I calculate the mu is 76. So this is right time test. Now when I come to the table of the normal distribution table available in the research methodology and statistics table, that 2.22. So I take the column value 2, column side 2, and your side I take the column side I take the 2.2, and your side I take the 0.02, and I come to the value of 0.9868. So it indicates the p value is 0.0132. So p value is 1.32. This is calculated by the same formula. Now p value is 1.30. Typically, before implementing a hypothesis test, we choose a value of alpha 0.01. I said medical science, 0.05 social science, 0.10 in the case of Nigel parameters. We reject the null hypothesis if the p-value is less than alpha. Let us say before conducting study we choose alpha is 0.05. So as this value is concluded, we reject the HO and conclude that the sample data support the alternative claim that mu is greater than 0.67. Now someone has said critical value approach. Now I come to that. Rejection region. A region of the value such that if the test statistics fall into this region, then we reject the HO. So location of this region is determined by alternative hypothesis. So there is going to be separation to be happen of the rejection area and non-rejection area. So this is the value is being coming here, the rejection area and non-rejection area. Like here is a left tail, is a right tail. So if the value is coming in this particular, you know, points within the bell-shaped curve, we say null hypothesis is not rejected. Procedure: specify the non and alternate, specify the test statistics, calculate value, find the critical value, and state the conclusion. Same example I am taking. Population mean is 67. We have calculated Z is equal to 2.22. Here I wrote that as per rule, the Z value for 5% never of significance for 110 test is plus minus 1.645. This is standard value. Now here we comes to the alpha is equal to 0.05. So here we can say the calculated value is 2.22. So it is being coming on the green corner side. So we here green corner side is coming. So we reject the HO. As Z is more than 2.2, the test falls in rejection area. That is green color. So we reject the HO and conclude that sample data support the alternative claim mu greater than equal to 67. This is the same as per the p-value approach. So my suggestion is that whenever you write your research paper, dissertations, give your conclusion by the p-value and the critical value both way, because you have the both value are being available in the SPSS solution. Now these are the standard critical value of Z statistics, and it indicates the coverage of area. I give the example for the 1%, for 210, 110, like that 1%, 5%, and 10% I give it. So 10% means coverage of area is 90%. It means that 100 minus 10 is equal to 90%. 100, that way we are going to be coming. Now critical value approach, here alpha is equal to 0.05, p value is 0.013. So here alpha value is coming within the level 0.0132 is coming that level, so we can say that we are rejecting the hypothesis. Same way we can make the confidence interval of the two tests. For confidence interval, we are taking 101 minus alpha percentage. It means that it is known as confidence level. Confidence level, when we say the 5% alpha means 95% confidence level, we get it. Sometimes we have to work out the confidence interval, that what may be the value between the two. So normally we used to be calculate the x by plus minus 3 standard deviation is the range of the confidence. That is x minus plus minus, you can take it. And you can reject if the calculated value is lower also. You can implement the two-10 test by any example of the back to school spending. Rupees 60,640, 30 samples are randomly drawn. To make this point clear, I made a 30 point. Sample size 30. So Z test is calculated 1.39. Based on alternative hypothesis, the critical value to be taken as a Z 0.025. 5% divided by 2. So 1.96. So here the calculated value 1.96. We are getting it. We can test it. When mu is known, but population standard deviation is not known, then you can work out the t-test by taking the sample test. Formula is remain same. Here we have to calculate when we are going to have the standard deviation unknown, then we have to take into consideration the degree of freedom, that is n minus 1. So in the t-test table, we go to the table value n minus 1. Here I have given the simple example where I come to the mean value is 16.37, population mean is 24, and I took the n is equal to 35, and I still try to use the t-test minus 0.625. We can assume that sample mean is normally distributed, and the calculation have been done. By critical value approach, the value is coming to 1.691, and the reject the HO if it is less than. Since T is less than 0.169, we reject HO and conclude that the sample data support the alternative claim. I have changed the figure to understand it. The p-value approach, same logic. I came to 1.94. Now compute the p-value. Since T4 1.94 greater than 0, the p-value for a 210 t-test is greater than. Referencing t-table degree of freedom for 34, I already said degree of freedom means n minus 1. We find the exact probability cannot be determined. This is the limitations of the t-table. So we got the 34 and we require to count the value in between. So look at the table T 1.94. So 1.94 is lying between 1.691 to 2.032, which is between 0.0252 to 0.05. So we can say that our conclusion is coming. When we do manually, we face this problem. So we directly go to the table value and we didn't use the p-value approach. Now the p-value is between this and 5 is 5. State the conclusion. Since the p-value satisfies, the value is between 5 to 10, it must be greater than 5. So we do not reject the HO. But if I am taking a social science area at 10%, I will accept, I will reject the HO. Means study of student at the university is not statistically different. Now this is being taken for the population proportion. I already mentioned that certain percentage of the population is believing something, some percentage not. Yes, I know it. Now I'm starting with a question. But yes, I know it. I'm just finishing. So here the population proportion have been given by Z test. The same way you calculate the p-value, and the p-value calculation to be shown by the green color. Parametric test, we are assuming the normality is there. In the non-parametric test, we are not assuming the normality of the data. Data is of two types, nominal or categorical, where we can have the answer of yes, man or female. Ordinal, we are going to be decide the order of the work. Intervention, in the intervention data, mutually exclusive, geo is not going to be represented. In the ratio data, like a height, weight, blood pressure, geo can be achieved. There I say that nominal and ordinal data we should use a non-parametric test, and ratio and interval we should use the parametric test. This is the discussion having happened about the parametrics. We should go to the non-parametric test when the data sample size is too small and we cannot remove the outliner. Then we should go to the non-parametric test. In the parametric test, you require independent sample. Non-parametric test, anything can be independent. Parametric, we use the mean. In the non-parametrics, we are using the median. Non-parametric equivalent test for the one simple t-test, it is Winnickson sign test. For two independent t-tests, we have Mann-Whitney and Winnickson sign test can be used. For paired sample test, we can use the sign test. When we use the ANOVA, then in the non-parametric, we can use the Kuskon-Vanish test. So sample size should be less than 3, but t distributions can be applied only if the sample size is between 3 to 30. This is the important controversy. So sample size you have to look into that is to come between 3 to 30, and the small p-value is indicating the level of significance that do not accept or accept the hypothesis. Here I have given the chart of the parametric test and non-parametric test. So once we know about our database, we can go to the particular type of test. Now you can calculate the test and give the conclusion for the same. Now here I say that goodness of fit to be worked out, whether my curvilinear graph is correct or not, then we can use a Sapir-Whorf test and the Mann-Whitney U test. This is the basis of the comparisons are to be done between the parametric test and non-parametric test. Here in this slide, I have given the which are the parametric counterparts are to be used. So friends, with this I have given the common name. Thank you very much. Any question? For any problem you have, you can contact me through my email ID to email. Here I have given the references where the book number 7 of 100 statistical test is very nice one. Then you can go to the Dr. Basu, or you can go to the EJMD data book also, which is very good. Thank you very much. Now for SAM study, I have given nearly the 100 slides, and where I have said that how the kurtosis can be worked out, normality test can be worked out, and when we say x bar plus minus 3, 99.7% data are being covered under the same. So those type of the use of the testa box knots you can use to find out the H segment and also the outliners you can work out. Okay friends, thank you very much. Any question? Yes friends, any question from your side? Thank Yes sir. Yes. Yes. See, control variables are going to be decided by you based on the statistical data, or the data compilation is done by you. Like you say that the atmosphere or some portion, like I can say the medical science, that control variable, that doctor is giving the medicine, the control variable is that the patient is going to be observed or going to be stood to the uh, food criteria given to them. That may be control variable, where you assume that they are going to be controlled. But if you know that the sum of the patient, maybe 5% is accepting, 10% is not accepting, or some way. Hospital people are knowing that they are being in the hospital, but they are taking the glucose biscuit and so, in spite of diabetics. Then you can define the control variable according to that. I hope it has given you the answer. Thank you very much, friends. I hope I have here also given some of the test reasons given by the SPSS and on my way, that how we can remove the skewness and everything from our database. Thank you very much, friends. Any other question? Removal of the see, no. Okay. See, stop. No. 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 Normally, what I used to do, I am giving my own example so you can understand very well. When in my statistical working and research working, I come to the outliner, then I am increase the size of the size of the sample. And based on the size of, by increasing the size of the sample, I try to see that there is a no need of removal of outliner is happening. But in case, if somehow still I am coming to the outliner after working out the 4-5 times different sample size, then whatever the outliner samples are there, those samples I am physically or manually verifying and taking the decision. Never remove the outliner to come to the conclusion. Outliner can be removed, number one, by increasing the sample size, or number two, by increasing the number of independent variables which you may have missed out in the first or second research. So that the size of the independent variable, number of independent variables are going to be increased. And that's why I say that the second parameters of the relationship is also quite important, because increasing the sample size is first parameters. If it's not support you, go to the outliner pair very categorically, visualize it, study it, and do it. If there also you cannot come to the conclusion, then try to add those variables in your study and start the further research. So research is not a one night story. One good research paper is normally taking 3 to 4 months time. That much courage you should have it. UGC is saying every year two. We people are saying it is impossible. After in my 30 years experience, I have not produced more than 20 or 29 base research paper at globally never name. Yes, then only. So don't try to be complete like a PhD study, okay? This is a postdoctorate. And postdoctorate is more significant and important. So I have given here the very nice way something. You can go through later on, study it. You can use the mini tab also. You take the question. I have taken some good example too to understand by one of you, and you all are being welcome to contact me in case if you need anything, and you have to give the weight to the particular parameters. So providing the weight and covariant the variables are also going to be the quite important, and you can form the own type of the different tests. I've given the non-parametric tests because those are very important in my personal view. Thank you very much. Here, earlier also I have given few references. Here also I am giving the few references to you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bhagwanacharya, and on organizing committee members of the IQAC to provide me this support and encourage me to part of this seminar. Thank you very much. Yes, friends, any further questions? Yes, sir.